Jojo Siwa is absolutely done with the hate. And to prove it, we've got an array of TikToks where Jojo Siwa is firing back and reacting to a bunch of hate comments and hate posts made about her. Also, in relation to this, there has been a bit of an upstir in controversy surrounding Jojo Siwa and their previous show, which, revealed by a Rolling Stones article, details accusations of mistreatment within Jojo Siwa's ex-OMG pop group, particularly the former member Leah Sanderson, and they claim that she and other young girls who are part of the TV show were subject to very intense rehearsal schedules and also the emotional and physical environment that they were placed in. Now, obviously, all of this is ongoing, and I believe that Jojo Siwa's mother is actually facing a lawsuit for all of this, but we'll get to more of this later on after we take a look at Jojo Siwa's latest TikToks, which will be interesting to see as this is all happening during these conversations are being had about child performers in the entertainment industry, the impacts of such intense rehearsal schedules and how that affects their well-being. So it's very interesting to see what Jojo Siwa's content will be amongst all of this criticism.
Jojo Siwa here pulling out another baddie fifth for New York Fashion Week. It's a little something I like to call fuzzy inflated garbage bag with booger-colored monster boots.
I'm not even gonna fake any sort of reaction here. This has got significantly less funnier than when I first clicked on it to put it in this video. This isn't funny. Whoever made this, it's just a bit cringe, isn't it?
Herbie, and I also won't shut up. I guess you could say I'm having a ball.
I feel like doing this is probably worse than dressing up as the ball.
I took my inspiration from Violet Beauregard who turned to a big blue blueberry because she was also a bad girl. Hey kids, unlike the fuzzy pom-poms included your kindergarten projects, but have your nightmares. They're great.
That was the longest 33 seconds of my life. Swiftly moving on.
I'm all in for hate comments, but saying on my last post that the van missed me by a little bit, van was so close, that's not hate, that's fucked up.
Now that is unfortunate, and that is one of the pitfalls that come with being famous. You have people commenting the most abhorrent stuff under your post. Anyone that utters that kind of sentiment against another person, no matter who they are, is seriously forgetting something about the sanctity of life. And after we move on to this next TikTok, why I found it interesting is because I was watching my good friend iNabber's video, and he was talking about how the people who are a part of Jojo Siwa's show, they were promised figurines, dolls to be made out of them, and I'm watching this TikTok, and the first thing I notice is that this room is just full of old Jojo Siwa merch, and I was just wondering about like what kind of mental state you have to be in to sort of have a whole room dedicated to just your merch. Maybe you would have your own merch as a whole room, because I guess it is your merch. It is something you're creating that you want to share with the world and something you're supposed to really care about. And if you don't care about it enough to have a whole room full of it, then do you really want to sell it?
What's up, everybody? It's me, Jojo Siwa, and I am so excited to finally tell you all I am coming to Rhode Island for Comic-Con this year. November 1st to the 3rd is my first ever pop culture convention. I could not be any more excited. Hang out with y'all, take photos, sign autographs, maybe even a couple surprises.
It looks like a film set. It doesn't look like a real room. It looks like a film set for that merch. I wonder if Jojo Siwa tucks himself into bed at night surrounded by pictures of themselves. I do wonder. The mind goes to interesting places when you're watching Jojo Siwa videos. And on to the next video. It would seem that Jojo Siwa is still lashing back at the hate comments or fighting back at the hate comments. And it's fair enough. That's completely Jojo Siwa's prerogative to be able to do that. If you're coming onto someone's page with like just pure negativity, don't be surprised when the creator fires back in some way or form. And I've noticed when that does happen from bigger people or whatever, when they like end up replying to these hate comments, the person who's left the comment is always defending themselves, just being like, oh, I'm just having a really bad day, man, my life is terrible. That seems to be a recurring theme, that like if you're that down in the dumps to leave hate comments under someone's video, then there's probably something a bit wrong that needs remedying. You know, there's probably something wrong that needs remedying if I'm making 4 or 5 Jojo Siwa videos in a row. There's probably something that I need help with.
Here's some of my favorites. Are you ready? Yep. Sending hate from Brazil. No, bro. Please, not my country. Please, bro. Oh, just wait. Gets better. Here's a good one. Jojo, start taking your meds.
Jojo doesn't strike me as someone that would need medication. I feel like Jojo Siwa, you know, they've just had a unique upbringing, but you know, who hasn't? Who hasn't?
I'm going to the next one. Me after 2 days on Duolingo. Because it's literally me too. Jojo, you're gonna make them not want to speak their own language. Today. You had potential to be pretty, but you ruined it. Good one. Someone shut her up. Can you shut me up? Thank you. Somehow my girlfriend dumping me was better than this. Let's go on to end it on. I have to say to that. Karmato suka! Suck my kutas!
And that was Jojo Siwa replying to hate comments with their girlfriend. So it's not all doom and gloom, not all just responding to negativity. Here we have Jojo Siwa promoting some health, fitness, stamina core training. I'm not going to ignore the healthy stuff. This is what I should be doing. I wish I had my own studio to work out and dance in. Someone teach me how to dance. Partnering exercise with music, it can give you that rush of motivation, that extra bit of dopamine to get you through, especially when it's your own music, probably really good for your brain. There's Jojo Siwa's stamina core training. That reminds me, I need to get on my stamina core training. And you'll notice through these TikToks that there's been a slight Polish twang, a Polish thematic thread piercing through the veil of each Jojo Siwa video that we consume through this voidless scope of something that we call TikTok. Jojo Siwa's made this song and it was very inspired by the sounds of Poland, and Jojo Siwa's just run with it completely, all the way to stating that they would be performing at Eurovision.
Yesterday, tomorrow, today.
Poland! Woohoo! Poland! Shout out Poland. Here's where Jojo's Poland arc reaches its climax. Another day, another prep for Eurovision, supposedly.
Today.
Poland's Eurovision bosses actually came out in this BBC article and said that we haven't spoken to Jojo Siwa, say Polish Eurovision bosses. The people in charge of Poland's Eurovision entry say that they haven't spoken to reality TV star Jojo Siwa about representing this country. In a post on TikTok, the 21-year-old claimed that she had real discussions about performing at the contest next year, but Polish broadcaster TVP, which is involved in choosing the country's Eurovision acts, said it wasn't speaking to artists and hadn't made any decisions about 2025. A very interesting climax to that story. I'm not sure what the thought was. Maybe if you just sort of manifest it, will it into being by stating it as a true fact and saying that you're preparing for Eurovision, perhaps Jojo Siwa will eventually be on those Eurovision stages. Who knows? In this latest Rolling Stone article which was published, there was a lot of stuff that was revealed about the TV shows that Jojo Siwa and Jojo Siwa's mother curated and was a part of, particularly the environments which the children were trained in and the treatment of the people involved. First of all, there were accusations of physical mistreatment. Former ex-OMG pop member Leah Sanderson claimed that her time on the group was marked by emotional and physical distress. According to her, the rigorous schedules combined with the constant pressure to perform led to extreme exhaustion and emotional turmoil. The girls reportedly rehearsed up to 10 hours a day with little regard for their physical or mental well-being. Sanderson described feeling physically drained and mentally worn down by the intense workload. This article also delves into Jesselyn Siwa's role in all of this and how she conducted herself whilst filming this TV show. Jojo's mother, Jesselyn Siwa, managed the group and is accused of creating a toxic environment. She is said to have enforced harsh discipline and expectations, which allegedly included verbal abuse towards the dancers. Jesselyn allegedly used fear as a tool for motivation, leading the girls to feel a constant pressure to meet unrealistic standards. This created an unhealthy, high-pressure atmosphere that negatively affected the performers' emotional well-being. The article then goes in to describe the emotional strain and fear that was curated around the environment of the show. Sanderson claimed that the stress caused by Jesselin's management tactics was overwhelming. The emotional strain included fear of failure, feeling like they were never good enough. This environment led to emotional breakdowns among the dancers. The mental pressure was compounded by a sense of isolation. The young performers reportedly felt trapped in the group, unable to express their concerns or seek help due to fear of repercussions. Of course, the article delves into Jojo Siwa's involvement, and where Jojo Siwa was not directly involved in managing the group, she's being criticized because she was a part of the overarching system that enabled all of this mistreatment in the first place. Because according to this article, she was more of a figurehead, with her mother controlling the day-to-day operations, which is definitely to be expected. I wouldn't expect Jojo Siwa to have the mental capacity to take on a task like managing day-to-day operations whilst also focusing on their music and dance performance of their own. According to this article, which again I kind of expected, Jojo's role in the group was more promotional as the brand used her fame to garner all the attention, whilst Jesselyn handled the group's strict management. I feel like that's what everyone kind of idealized in their head when they thought of the behind the scenes operations of this show. This also pulls into question the broader industry implications. The allegations against the Siwas have sparked a far broader conversation about the treatment of child stars and child performers in the entertainment industry. There are definitely far more people now calling for better oversight over these conditions and protections for young talent who have been put through such grueling experiences, and yeah, I completely agree. I feel like this was definitely important for me to bring to light amongst all the Jojo Siwa videos that we've done. I tend not to want to try and slander anyone or, you know, bring anyone down for no particular reason, but when there's concern for well-being of little ones, then I feel like this kind of stuff has to be brought to light. And to continue down this sort of rabbit hole, as I started to watch more of these clips of shows that Jojo has been a part of, such as Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution and Dance Mums, I see the kind of environment that's been curated around dance in general. And in Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution, as early as the first episode, there's a moment where one of the kids is clearly struggling, trying to catch their breath, and eventually breaks down. It's definitely a tough moment to watch. But, you know, it's not unusual for shows to capture moments like this, but seeing it happen to younger kids, especially in a show led by someone who knows firsthand the toll the industry takes on you when you're a young star or you're a young talent, it seems like a massive disconnect from Jojo's public stance on protecting young performance. And it's interesting because through observing the shows like Dance Mums and seeing how Abby Lee treated Jojo Siwa, and then for Jojo Siwa to take that on as that's just how the industry is, etc., where these tough environments, it seems normal to Jojo Siwa, and for Jojo Siwa to then curate that kind of environment for other children that she's training, it seems quite sad, to be honest. And here we've got a clip of Jojo Siwa actually defending Abby Lee Miller, who was the dance teacher in Dance Mums, where there's like countless clips of her shouting at Jojo Siwa online. And here we have Jojo Siwa essentially defending Abby Miller for everything.
This is going to be a little controversial to say, I think, but
see, I don't really have much to say on top of that, other than Jojo Siwa has the potential here to make a real impact on how child stars are treated in the music industry or the dance industry as a whole. And she's spoken about a bunch of the challenges that she's faced personally growing up as a child star, as a dancer. And by taking the leadership role in projects like Dance Pop Revolution, she genuinely has an opportunity to set new standards and not repeat what she went through just because she thinks that's the normal thing to do and that's just the way the industry is. The hope is that as Jojo Siwa's career progresses, she will continue to advocate for the well-being of young performers on screen and off of screen as well. At the end of the day, Jojo Siwa is still part of this team and does have dancers on tour. It's definitely a very tough industry to be a part of. That is something that can be observed in all of the documentation of Jojo Siwa's shows and mishaps, but there's definitely always room for improvement, and Jojo Siwa can definitely definitely help drive that change. Exercise, good health. There was also a study that I actually left out the last video that we did on Jojo Siwa, and this time I've left the good stuff to the end. If you're here chilling with me right at the end for this bit, this is a unique study that I found where it states that children who recognize differences in rhythm and patterns and tap to a beat learn to read and spell more easily. How we feel about another person is conveyed by rhythm. Walkers synchronize their steps to aid communication. Snowball the cockatoo will dance along with you, but if you dance out of sync with the beat, he will turn away from you. Social encounters with rhythm influence our attitudes. The extent to which a person synchronizes with an environment affects the person's opinion of the likability of the experimenter. The extent to which a person synchronizes with the experimenter affects the person's opinion of the likability of the experimenter. University students were instructed to tap along to a metronome while an experimenter was also tapping their finger nearby. When the experimenter tapped at the same rate, the rating given in response to how likable was the experimenter was higher. So, just to recap, they do this experiment, they're asked to tap their finger, and if the experimenter tapped it at the same time as them, tapped their finger at the same time, the likability score that was given by the person who was being experimented on was higher. It's just a very interesting thing. But how does this apply to the development of dancing kids? Well, preschool-aged children were asked to perform a rhythm synchronization task, and they are able to perform better if they are drumming along with another human than opposed to a impersonal beat coming from a loudspeaker. Even in very young children, being literally in sync with another person engenders positive feelings towards them. It's very interesting. In one study, an experimenter bounced 14-month-old children along to music, either on the beat or intentionally off the beat. When the bouncing session was over, the baby was placed on the floor, and the experimenter deliberately dropped an object and acted out needing help to pick it up. The babies who were bounced on beat were much more likely to help the experimenter retrieve the object, having apparently formed a social bond via rhythm that prompted cooperation. The offbeat babies were less likely to help. Rhythmic synchrony had led to interpersonal synchrony. And I think that's just a beautiful thing, just proving how rhythm connects us all. And I think that last part about the babies is extremely interesting. To recap, they had babies and they played a beat, and the ones that they were offbeat with, the experimenter acted like they needed help to pick something up. When they were offbeat, they were less likely to help them out. And that's crazy that rhythm can form social bond. I think that's beautiful. So what's the point in me telling you all that? It's to remind you to not let the frame of whatever's going on in context of Jojo Siwa as relation to dance and dance mums and pop groups and all this and etc. distract you from the fact that dancing, singing, creating music, being in rhythm, being in time, being on beat is a very important factor in our lives. It affects us from when we're very young all the way to when we're adults, literally making bonds with our own children. So keep that in mind. We're all connected through the music. Jojo Siwa's journey is definitely complex, and while she's been outspoken about all of the complications that she has tackled on her rise in the industry, there's definitely still work to be done when it comes to ensuring the health and well-being of child stars and young talent, and ensuring the well-being of the next generation of performers is safe and secure under the guidance of positive custodians of the art form, because at the end of the day, rhythm, movement, dancing, coordination, it helps us all. So don't let anything get in the way of what this stuff originally was. And that is where I'm going to end the video. What do you guys think? Is Jojo Siwa navigating this all well? Or do you think there's room for improvement? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate every single one of you. We are very close to 7,000 subscribers, so I very much appreciate that. Thank you guys for waiting on another video. My utmost adoration goes to all of you guys just pushing through life. I really do appreciate the time and attention that anyone would spend on these videos, so thank you. I hope that I can give back that energy and reciprocate the love that you guys give me for whatever is going on over here. Anyway, thank you guys. I'll see ya in the next one. Peace.